Hi, I'm Jessica,
And I'm Tracy.
and this is She's on Top, the place where we celebrate and elevate women.
And today we are thrilled to be talking to two amazing young women, Adara and Ria. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, everyone.
Now, Dara and Ria reached out to us a few weeks ago, and we had a quick chat, and we're so impressed because they've launched this website called Future Shop Factory, which you guys refer to as the Sustainable Development Goal Hub. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, for sure. So I can kick it off. Basically, the story around Future Shop Factory is it started about 6 months ago. Ria and I had this conversation about how do we solve more of the world's biggest problems. Specifically, we're both really passionate about social impact, and that ties really closely into the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we both weren't seeing enough progress towards them, and we wanted to see that change. We also wanted to see more progress in some other areas too, in terms of seeing more youth getting involved with actually working on problems. And different things like that as well. So we created this project called Future Shot Factory all around helping to create and address moonshots. And moonshots are these really big goals that oftentimes seem impossible. Going to the moon was a moonshot as well. And we called it Future Shot because we wanted to have moonshots that will create a better future. So all the sustainable development goals, we think of them as moonshots, and that's our focus right now. So we're starting with SDG number 13, which is climate action. We're also starting with global health, and those were our first two focuses. Now we're going into quality education as well. So those are our three focuses, but as we continue to work on our project, we hope to expand to more of them and also empower more youth to do so as well. We have three pillars of work that we focus on. The first one is to build. So within our organization, we build our own projects. It started off with our global health and climate action projects, and now we build projects with partners as well. So one of our projects is with IBM, and we'll talk more about partnerships maybe later on too as well. And how these work is we partner with a company and we work on a project for a specific sustainable development goal. So with IBM, we're working on quality education to build a platform with them to help teach other youth about that sustainable development goals. And we do this with different companies as well, and that's how we build projects to hopefully make more of an impact than currently is being made. We also consult for different companies, and our third pillar is to inspire. We want to inspire more youth, more girls, more people in general to feel like they are able to make an impact and feel like they have the tools to do so and create their own projects so that we can actually make this progress we want to see towards the sustainable development goals and then have more moonshots to create a better future as a whole.
Wow. I can just say wow. I mean, Jess and I mean, when you guys reached out to us, and I have to say we found out that you guys are only 17 years old. It blows our minds. We're just so impressed. So we'd actually like to also know a little bit about the two of you. So Ria, why don't you tell us a little bit about, your background and what you're doing? I know that you're doing some really impressive things.
Yeah, for sure. That was a great explanation about kind of what we do. We also receive funding from the Government of Canada to work on our own projects in our incubator. And for me, I actually got started on my journey a little bit over a year ago. I was always interested in things like technology, virtual reality, augmented reality, but I never knew where to get started. And that's when I actually joined a program called the Knowledge Society, as well as the Hospital for Sick Children. So around September of 2019 last year, I was like, I really want to make an impact with medicine. I've always been interested in wanting to help people, wanting to heal people, and wanting to help other people grow, things like that. And I've just always had a fascination with how our bodies work. So I thought medicine would be the perfect route for me. And that's why I, through my school, was able to do a cooperative education program at the Hospital for Sick Children, where I was actually able to work there for about 5 to 6 months and gain credits at my high school. So it was an amazing opportunity for me. I learned so much there. I was working in the Cardiac Research Center, and the disease that we were looking at was called pulmonary vein stenosis. So we were actually analyzing basically a disease that causes the blockage of the pulmonary veins in our bodies and doesn't allow blood to flow through to the rest of our body and our organs. So I thought, what are some solutions that we can use to combat this disease, like 3D printing, virtual reality, things like that, and actually having all that technology projected over things like artificial intelligence. Technology is completely going to take over our future, and I was just so passionate about it. So that's kind of how I got my start in medicine, and slowly I started to look at a wider demographic, so things like global health, and I started to share my story at more conferences, and I've just always had a fascination with those kind of issues. And when I started Future Chef Factory with Adara, I've always wanted to help out other youth as well. One of my favorite parts about speaking at places and sharing my story is to have other people come up to me and say, your words really changed my life. And I was like, well, what if I could build kind of a platform, or what if I could help build something out of that? So that's kind of how I ventured into social impact. And then I've always just wanted to do moonshots for the rest of my life. We're moonshot thinkers, as we call it. We like to think 10x and like to think in a bigger way. So then that's how I got started. And now I'm just focused on things like global health and actually wanting to solve problems with telemedicine, having that doctor to patient communication in developing countries. So that's just a little bit about me and kind of how I got started, definitely in medicine, but now more in social impact and entrepreneurship.
Wow.
Well, at your age, I was wondering where I could get cool jeans at the mall.
Still wondering that.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I was just like, oh my. So, Ria, can you tell us a little bit more about you too?
Or Adara.
Adara. I'm sorry, Adara. I was just taking all that information in. So what's your passion in this area?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think for me, it started off more in the social impact area than to the entrepreneurship. And then I found what more my specific passion kind of was. So growing up, I was really passionate about all these different problems. I was more of that kid you would see as the advocate. So I was always speaking out for problems that I was really passionate about. Most of the time it'd be around women's rights, education, mental health. And I was always really passionate about the environment. And I think the place that stemmed for was just, I love nature. I really, really love being outside. I love animals. So I think that's kind of where it came from in the first place. And then what that transitioned into is I always wanted to do more, which is kind of part of the passion that I have. And Ria also shares this with wanting to empower other youth to know that they can do more, they can make a difference, they can achieve the things they want to. Is because I thought that I wasn't able to do so other than speaking out about the problems that I cared about. And then I joined this social entrepreneurship program for the first time ever. It was really small at the time. It's bigger now. There's 5 kids in it with We Charity, and they helped me feel like I could actually solve problems. So I worked on an app for food insecurity. That was my first time kind of being exposed to technology to solve problems. And at the time, I also thought the only technologies that existed were robotics and programming, which is what I learned about a bit in school and growing up as well. And then I also joined the Knowledge Society like Ria, and I realized there's this whole world of all these technologies and also all these emerging ones that don't even exist yet, but we're going to create. And it's pretty wild. And these can all be tools that we can use to solve problems, to make a better planet, along with different problem solving skills we learned there as well. And then I just kind of felt superpowered, I guess, maybe I can actually solve problems no matter what your age is. And I want other kids and youth to know that too, and just people in general to believe in their ability to do so. It's all about learning how to do it. And then you actually can if you set your mind to it, which is really powerful and exciting. And my whole passion, I figured out, was in the environment and social impact as well. But the environment would be more of my specific focus within it. I wanted to see more climate action because we have less than 11 years left to really address the climate problems we have right now, it's quite urgent. And there's so much to unpack there. What we realize is with all of these moonshot goals, all these sustainable development goals, they all have problems within them. And all these problems have their own little parts to them that need to be solved. So there's these really big feats, which is why they seem almost impossible to address. For me, I started with, I learned about genetic engineering, which is the ability to edit DNA to create different abilities in organisms. And at the time I saw it used a lot in healthcare, and I wanted to see if we could use it in plants to help them sink more carbon. Right now, the main project I'm working on with the environment is sea kelp pontoons to actually sink more carbon in the ocean, because the ocean is the lungs of our planet, and they sink a ton of carbon, but we lost a lot of sea kelp forests. So I'm trying to rehabilitate them using 3D printed sea kelp beds. And I'm also working on alternative protein projects. So basically, our whole protein industry creates a lot of a really big carbon footprint. And if we could change the way we create protein today, that would make a really big impact as well. So those are some of my main environmental projects. But then with Future Shot, we hope to inspire more people and to work on different goals as well.
Wow, guys, and again, it's so fantastic. And I like to, point out too to anyone who's watching that you guys are going to become ambassadors for She's on Top. So we're going to hopefully work together on some of your projects. And we would love to, work with you and promote you and help you. So we've got to wrap up soon, but it's maybe each one of you say, is there one thing, we'll list your website and everything in this description. Is there one thing that anyone who's watching, the audience, can do to help you guys? What do you need most?
Yeah,
Maybe
for sure.
Ria, you want to go first? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I can get started. I think what we always do, like Adara said, is we have our 3 different pillars, like partnerships, consulting, things like that. So we're always available by email. We have our own email for Future Chef Factory as well, our personal emails, website, things like that. Please reach out to us if you're interested in collaborating or partnering. We just grew our team. We have a couple new interns with us that are really excited to get working on these projects along with us, and they're incredible as well. And I know that they love to tap into other company and organizations' energy. If there's any funding opportunities or anybody who wants to help us, with things like that, then we're more than welcome. We're really welcome in any certain areas, promotion, things like that. I think partnerships is one of our main areas of focus right now, but I can pass it over to Adara if she has anything else.
Honestly, I think you really just hit the areas I would say, like if you want to get involved, work on an SDG, or if even we can just like help you personally with your own project, we love to do that. And then the funding piece, I think, is like the second, because within any social impact area, I think there's less funding than maybe some of like the other areas. So if that's kind of your specialty, that would be really helpful.
Well, thank you so much. It's like our extreme pleasure and honor to have you guys as part of the She's on Top community. And as Tracy said, we are so excited to learn more about you and work with you. And so thank you so much for reaching out.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
No
Bye.
problem. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.